Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for update 53 of Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. We're going to start off, as always, with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, seeing as we are back after my absolutely wonderful vacation, we are going to go right into, oh my goodness, this table is just covered in things. We've got a whole bunch of new tactical toys for you, as well as filling out a bit of a category that has not gotten as much love, that is present in nearly every other video game. So I know we already, let's start with the handguns here. I know we already have a G22 that's chambered in 40 SW, but there are a whole bunch more, as you well know, and I decided to, for this week, to basically fill out the 9mm category for them. All of the magazines for them are cross-compatible. So here's a G17, which we've got, see, has a bit of a dirty finish to it, which I thought was appropriate considering these things are indestructible. Let's pull this over here. Beautiful. We've got an undermount rail on this, obviously stock support. Let's start playing with some of our toys and seeing what they are. We've got 3 new laser sights this week. This is the first one, which, as you can see, has a rail on the bottom. This one is a violet dot. Beautiful. Pop that out. Let's go ahead and switch to a different one. We've got a classic original G18. So this isn't the later, like, compensated and ported one. It doesn't even have an undermount rail. It is the original. And you'll notice this actually has a selector switch on it. This is toggled via up on the touchpad like any handgun safety. So that's full, that's semi. This sucker just tears them out. So on semi, and full, boom, just tears through them. Love that sound. Oh, let's hear that with a suppressor on there. Pop this on. This is the G19 suppressor. Oh, delightful. Delightful. We'll pop you there. Throw that over here. Next up, we've got a G19 that's a little custom. I wanted to, for you heretics who are obsessed with FD finishes, I wanted one that actually has a bit of a two-tone thing going out here, a little bit of a barrel extension. We could pop a suppressor on if we wanted. As I said, all of these new mags fit all the rest of them. So this gorgeous extended mag will go in the G18 as well. Beautiful. Pop you over there. Let's get through this mag a little faster. Boom! That's 33 rounds right there. Gorgeous. And then lastly in this family, we've got this, some might say gorgeous, some might say hideous, completely tricked out G17 sort of race gun. This is G17 Custom in the I'm spawner. It's got a built-in red dot there, nice and low profile. It's got that flared magazine well, and we've got a custom magazine for it, as well as you can just use this high cap one. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and throw on one of our other new red dots. I love the shape of this one personally. This one's just red. Beautiful. And then actually let's look at the third new red dot. This one here is a little offset, I believe, and it's green. So there you have it. You now actually have a little bit of choice with your laser sight. Beautiful. What's up next? What's up next? Toss you over there. Toss you over there. Cool. What do we have? Well, let's move up a bit. We have ourselves an Uzi Pro Granted, I find the naming of it a little bit funny, considering this is, to my understanding, pretty much only a sort of gun aimed at civilians, which means it's semi-auto only. Don't worry, there'll be a full-auto micro Uzi this month. But we've got this side charging handle, so we can put stuff on the top, stuff on the underside, and this actually has a stock mount. So we can, say, take one of our new straight line attachable stocks, this is a PP2000 style one, pop that on there. Let's give ourselves an optic. This is the SRS2, I believe. Beautiful. And let's give ourselves a foregrip. This is the SG foregrip, which, as you can see, has its own side rail. So if we wanted, we could take our Sure Glow light, pop that on there, turn that on, and put our Uzi Pro suppressor on. Gorgeous! Hideous. Gorgeous. Both. Pop that on here. Beautiful. Take this back off. Yonk. Oh, last shot. There we go. And so that is your Uzi Pro. That can be tricked out a whole bunch of different ways. We've got a second stock over here. This is this actually off of the Vector 45, but it was already on a separate texture canvas, so it was easy to use in this context. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we've got that. What next? On to our new baby here. That's right, we finally have an SG550, which along with it comes a 30-round mag. So for those of you who have been like, I really love the Commando 552, but I wish I had a 30-round magazine, well, here you are. Pop that in. We've got a bipod on this as well. Pull that back off. Beautiful. And what should we try on here? Well, let's go ahead and give ourselves a sweet looking foregrip. We've got some new decorative pieces. These are just rail covers. I've made them as efficient as possible, so it shouldn't be too performance onerous if you want to pop a couple of them on just for looks. We got short, medium, and long. So in terms of optics, we've got a MT1 here. Let's take a look at how this looks down the sight. Beautiful. Pull us onto semi, take some shots. Beautiful. Pull you off. And this has been requested a ton. I don't know, this is an MRS. I think it's in like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I think it's known as the like Coyote sight. So it's this sort of cross section. And as you can see, we've got this switch back here that allows us to toggle between a bunch of different reticle options. So we can get a straight crosshair, we can get a ring, this is the default one, and we can just get a dot if we want. Beautiful. Gorgeous. So that's on there and working. We've got some new sets of iron sights. Granted, this rifle already has a front sight, but when in doubt, add more irons. Got a nice aperture there. Sorry for the jitter. I think I need to redo my room setup. Beautiful. And for those of you who like to run an optic primarily, we've got a M145 here, which is a fixed 3.4x magnification, if memory serves. And we've got a new set of canted sights, just built right in, so we can totally put that, say, about here and back here. So we can jump from our magnified view right over to our canted irons and back again. So there you have it. That is our set of new toys, devices. Oh, and we've got one more light. This is a clash light. So pop that on there. Turn that on. Beautiful. Remember, if you don't know off the top of your head, laser lights and lasers and lights are toggled by grabbing them and clicking up on the trackpad or your joystick. Beautiful. So there is our set. So let's jump out of VR and talk about what is coming for the rest of the month.
Yo! So out of VR, we've got a couple other changes and a bunch of bug fixes that also happened this week. So let's see here. So in terms of changes, the Tech 9 super duper illegal version has actually been swapped over to being open bolt, which is how that conversion would have typically been done by an unscrupulous individual. I did a ton of texture use optimization. You should actually, despite all the new stuff that I added this week, the size on disk of the game should actually go down. As when investigating some asynchronous loading issues that some RAM-limited folks have been dealing with, I actually found a whole bunch of assets were set to preposterously large texture usage in certain cases. Objects like this big with a 1024 texture set for the whole object didn't make any sense. Just due to the iterative and oftentimes racing pace of development slipped by me. So that has been fixed, which means load time should be for everyone about 20% faster actually. The Vector 45's shroud no longer is a suppressor, but is actually just a sort of shrouded barrel extension, as it should be. So if you just want a cool looking 4 but still have the original sound of the weapon, you can now pop that on. All of the 8 generic suppressors have been renamed because that was just sort of boring and didn't help you remember them. So they've all been given a name, either the closest real-life suppressor that is similar to the design that's in there, like the PBS-1 and the PBS-4, as well as just some sort of descriptive and cool names for them instead. In terms of fixes, the Mosin Obrez's stock pose glitch and muzzle pause glitch is fixed. The Defender 45's trigger is actually visible and not inside the handle. All of the M249 bugs should be fixed at this point. Open bolt guns no longer continue to fire when you drop them. Let's see, submaterial on the chainsaw was fixed. A couple other just miscellaneous interaction bugs have been fixed. I did not yet get a chance to get to and fully fix the vault, so it's been disabled again. There's some larger problems with it than I thought. I changed some things about my sort of object data structure and didn't remember that that was relevant to the way that the vault reassembles something. So I have to go back in and really extensively test it to make sure that Humpty Dumpty gets put back together again correctly when you spawn him. So beyond that, in terms of what's happening this next week, there's going to be another smaller firearm update the next 2 weeks that is, as I mentioned, I think last week, giving me cover to work on some bigger systemic changes. I also have a couple dental appointments occurring this next week, so I'm not going to have as much time to get work done, and I'm just going to be in a really crappy mood as a result. But either way, I've got some fun, cool toys lined up for you folks. Well, that's about it. I hope you all enjoy the new update and have a wonderful weekend. Peace.